Hi everyone, at long last HGV training this morning. Let's get on with it. I chose to do my Class 2 HGV training with Learn Our Way, a local driving school, and this is my trainer Paul. I've known him for many years.
So what we're going to do is we're going to start on the inside.
Yeah.
Because I always get people to start on the inside before you go to the outside. Okay.
100%, yeah.
So we have a list of checks that we should do. Now there's more lists.
Yeah.
There you go. So you take that from me. Each company will give you a list to check your lorry. This is a basic list that you'll need to check. So these are basic checks. There are more that you could do.
Yeah.
But if you start a company, you might go, Paul, you never told me about this, that, and the other.
Yeah.
You've also got a Module 4 test that you might do if you're doing your driver CPC with us as well. And this is the list that you would definitely use on your CPC.
Okay, yeah.
First of all, we need to just pop the key into the ignition, the big square key. We're not starting the engine, we just turn it just to get the ignition on. We can check the handbrake is on, which is all the way down. Snap one there, make sure it's down.
Yeah.
And we do have a secondary brake as well. So if it's run out of air pressure, the secondary brake, which is on this truck, which is that one, it's popped out.
Okay.
Now you're not allowed, well, you won't be allowed to, or you wouldn't be able to push that in if the air pressure is low, because it's a safety feature.
Okay.
Because if you jump in your lorry and you take your handbrake off, the brakes are operated by air, and your lorry's just going to roll somewhere.
Away.
Okay, so we can't.
Yes.
When you've built up the air pressure, we will have to press that all the way in, and then we'll be able to manoeuvre the truck.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So handbrake's on, gear stick, which is just there, and it's in the neutral.
Neutral position.
In neutral. That's all we need to know on those for now. Okay.
Okay, yeah.
We'll come back to the gearbox later for you. Okay.
Fine.
So we'll put the ignition on.
Yep.
What you'd now do is you'd set your tachograph to tell you you're doing other work.
So.
And there's your tachograph just there.
Yes.
If you press the left button, it will eject it. Okay, so press it and then let go, and it'll start doing this. You see the screen come across.
Yep.
This is an analog tachograph, older style. Just pull the box all the way out, the tray, and let it drop down, and there's your chart. Okay.
Okay, yeah.
So if you take the chart out,
Just literally like a CD?
yeah, like a CD, yeah,
Okay,
there you
yeah.
go, good, excellent. You're obviously as old as me then.
Yeah, that's right.
CD's okay. We can only normally use one of these per 24-hour period. Okay.
Does this just sort of like inscribe over the top of it, does it? Because I've never seen one of these before.
So it does, it inscribes. A bit like a record player.
Yeah.
But when it goes on, these are wax coated, so if you do with your fingernails, something, it will make a mark. So that's defaced already. You couldn't use that because I put a mark on either way.
Okay.
Either way, you can't use one of them 24 hours for 24 hours only. So we're going to put a fresh one in today. So usually, we can have a fresh one inside the highway code. That's what the highway code's for. Yeah. So if you take one of them.
Yeah.
Okay. Usually, what you do is you fill in the middle bit, but how to use a tachograph chart is another course.
Yes.
So we don't need to get into that on your driving course. Okay.
Okay.
So you'd normally fill in the middle bit.
Yeah.
Wax side up.
Yeah.
Pop in like a CD player, as you said. Goes under the needle.
So
that's going to go under the needle like the old record players, and it's got to fit the shape in the middle.
Very good.
Yeah, once you've done that, because usually that will be filled in, but let's close it over.
So literally opposite of...
Push it up and push it in.
Will it matter because it's not sitting perfectly straight?
It's going to be roughly in. Just make sure it's in, because it's not perfectly straight. Yeah, that's fine, okay. All the way in.
All the way in?
Yeah. What we do is little stuff, and then on the left side it's got a symbol of rest. It's like a chair. Yeah. So on this one you press button 1. You want to change that to cross hammers other work, and that tells the vehicle, that tells if you get stopped by a VOSA or DVSA nowadays, you were doing other work before you started the lorry. Or
does that matter with training, or obviously not? Because
for training you need to know that question, because the examiner could ask you this question.
Ah, right. Okay.
So that's why we cover it. Okay.
So press
button 1 to change the mode. So all you need to tell the examiner is, they'll say, how would you operate the tachograph? Yeah. You'll say, I'll press, and you have to tell me. Yeah. I'll press the button, I'll eject it, take the chart out, or put a fresh chart in, close it, and change the mode by pressing button 1. That's all you need to say. Okay, so. Okay. Next one is your height sign. Find your height sign of the truck. If you're looking in a good place, yeah, you've got it. Okay. There we go. Now, most bridges are in feet and inches. Yeah. So make sure you know the height of the truck. Okay. Yeah. As a lorry driver, if you hit a bridge, your license is virtually, you'll be very lucky to ever get it back.
To get it back,
If you hit a bridge, that means you're basically showing incompetence.
Absolutely.
You have to look for signs. Right, your horn. Before you pop or sound your horn, make sure there's no one climbing up ladders or going to fall off buildings or across the road.
We're all good.
If we're all good, beep your horn, yeah. Make sure it works, yeah. And you've got two sides to it.
Both exactly the same sound?
Use the other ones, we'll make sure they work, yeah.
Yeah, all good.
So if you need to warn someone, as you know, little toot to the horn.
So we're not allowed to steam out onto roundabouts and blare that, no?
No, not quite, no. You can try if you want. That's the other motorists who tend to...
You're not wrong.
Okay, we do have an air horn on this truck as well, which usually only works when the engine's on as well, because it's operated by air. Okay, so if you're low on air pressure, very rarely it will work. But it's the top edge of your steering wheel, which is just about there.
The top edge.
So if you use your palm, and give it a toot going forwards, but because it's got no air in, it's probably not going to work.
Won't work.
Air horn,
I see, yeah.
So when the air pressure built up, it should have then work. That's a really loud horn. They don't have them on all trucks, but they have them on most of them. Louder horn for what type of roads are noisier?
Faster moving.
Which are?
Motorways.
Motorways, yeah. Your wipers are on the right hand side, so pull the lever all the way back to you. Okay, it was close, you pulled it all the way down. Okay.
All the way back
towards,
to me.
Sorry, towards you, yes.
Yeah.
There you go. And that'll wash the windscreen, yes.
Yeah, sound.
Okay.
Yeah.
So wipers are good. Then you're checking the next one down, which is your mirrors.
Okay.
So just make sure your mirrors are not broken. That's all you're checking for at this stage.
So have a little place.
Well, I wouldn't change them yet because we're not ready to do your cockpit drill yet.
Okay.
So mirrors, any breaks in them?
Oh no.
They're clean, clear?
No, all
not
clear.
Broken.
Sound, all fine.
Good. The very top one is for me and the examiner.
Okay.
So never adjust the top one because without that, if that fell off, they're going to ask you to move your main mirror inwards so they can see what's coming from the back of the truck.
Okay, yeah.
Which then means you'll have to use the bottom mirror only.
Okay.
So the bottom ones, don't adjust them as well because the examiner uses the bottom one on this side because you can't use this one as much. Okay. So mirrors are fine. Not again, if we start adjusting that, the seat's in the wrong place at the moment, so we don't do cockpit drills yet.
I get it.
These are just vehicle checks.
Yeah. I just sorry, Paul. I just thought whether it was a check, not necessarily to see the cracked or clean. Yeah. Just whether they were operating. That's all. But I get you.
As well,
I get you. No problem.
But we'll come back to that in a minute. With that.
Of course.
Good. And the next one down as well.
Instrument checks.
Okay, so that's the instrument check. So if you turn your engine back off now, this one here that we're checking, the examiner can sometimes ask you this question when they're outside the vehicle. So they might phrase it in slightly different ways, but usually what checks would you do before and after starting the engine? It's all about the starting of the engine with the key. Okay, so don't get mistaken by that thinking, I'll get in and do my cockpit drill. No, it's not about that. It's about what checks you do before you start the engine and afterwards. So you're now going to turn the key back to where we did before and check any lights that come on, because a lot of lights should come on and go off, like the bottom right ABS light on and it'll go off. And there was a T on the left hand side as well, which will go off in a second. See them all go off. Okay. So all lights should go off. The things you're checking for is that you've got enough air pressure, which is 2 right gauges, and they're both in the 0. Can you see them on the dash?
I can, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
You have enough fuel for the journey, so you've got what? How much?
1/3 of a tank.
Okay. And there should be no other warning lights on, but there should be first in the morning because your vehicles always run out of air pressure when you leave them overnight.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So you've done all your checks before.
Yeah.
Now it's the after bit. So what we're going to do at this stage, so we're going to decide, do we need to check the engine oil? Okay. And on this truck, what we tend to is on a Monday morning, we will check the engine oil. So we are actually going to get on and check the engine oil, and then we're going to get back in and carry on with the checks. Okay, so leave the key in that position, and we shall go on outside and we'll check. Now, have you brought your gloves with you?
I have.
So with your gloves, put them on outside the truck.
Any reason for that, Paul?
Yes, because if you look at mine, bits of muck, grease, so they're on. We're going to dirty the inside, and the next driver will get in and they won't thank you. And then I'll have to tell them who did it.
Absolutely. Okay. Finger pointed.
We don't want to name and shame anybody.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Cool.
So let's check it safe before you go, as you normally would.
Yeah.
Open your door. When you open your door, it's not a car. Use your foot. Push it 90 degrees.
Okay.
All the way out.
Yeah, that seems bizarre.
Don't do that with your wife's car though.
Gee whiz, no.
Okay, otherwise, or your partner's car, whatever, because you'll get it told off.
No.
Okay, now again, it is quite windy, can you feel that?
Yeah.
Okay, and this is where we use our 4 points of contact. So, if you watch what I do, hand on the top, pop my gloves in the bottom there, my foot has to go in facing us onto the step. So, foot in, backside into the door, and then I'm on there. Now I've got control of the door. I can come down, keep control of my door, hold the door, get my gloves, but close the door once you're out, please.
Yeah. All good.
Okay, good.
So this is the engine oil, is it?
So now we're going to check the engine because we haven't checked it. We check it once a week to make sure it's topped up okay.
Yeah.
So with the engine bay, you wouldn't do this on your test unless the examiner asked you to open the bonnet and have a look and sit and check the engine oil, etc.
Okay.
So to open the bonnet, just where the grill finishes there, and on that side there are 2 levers underneath, just like an engine. You pull them outwards. Yes. So if you want to operate those,
is it both at the same time?
Both at the same time, yes.
Pull them outwards.
So that's it, outwards.
See, that way.
And then lift her up.
Okay.
Have a look at them. So see how they moved outwards.
Yeah, no problems. All
okay.
Good.
Close your bonnet again.
Is it just a push and
just
then,
a click shut? Yeah.
Click shut.
Make sure it clicks on both sides. Yeah.
Yeah. Good.
Open them again. So at least you've had 2 opportunities to open the engine.
I'm good with that.
Be most embarrassed if you get to the test centre and you can't open the bonnet. Okay. Yeah. And we don't want to be getting to the test centre and go, oh, we forgot to show you to open the bonnet. Okay.
Yeah.
So on the test they'll ask you. We will check the engine oil in a minute.
Yeah.
On test they ask you. It's tell me questions. Yeah. Can you tell me how you check the engine oil? So can you identify the dipstick and tell me how you check the engine oil, please?
This is the dipstick.
Yeah.
I'd check the level on cold engine, flat surface. I'd pull the dipstick out. I'd wipe it. Yeah. Put it back in.
Yes.
Check it against minimum maximum levels.
Yes.
If it's exactly the same as the car.
Good. Okay. That's good. Okay. Bit too much information for a lorry test.
All right. Okay.
Okay. So level road, flat surface, cold. They don't need that.
Right. Okay.
So you could be a bit more basic, but as you're an instructor as well, I don't mind you hitting me with all that information because it's really good information. Yeah.
And as you can see, we did actually go on and check the oil. Minimum at the bottom, maximum at the top. We're fine.
Another, we will top that up at some point later this week as well.
No
So we've got some more oil.
Okay. If you needed to top it up, it's obviously
into there. Yes, good. Okay.
Cool.
Now the other question you could ask is identify the engine coolant and tell me how you check that. An engine coolant is normally above your radiator. It's the bottle above it.
There we go.
Yeah. Yeah. Good.
So we can see minimum maximum levels here.
Great.
And again, cold engine, flat surface.
Yeah, you can see all levels on this side. It's a little bit lower because we're on an angle.
Because we're on an angle down here.
But when you're on a level road, that will be perfect. Okay.
Yeah, fine.
Your windscreen wash. Identify the windscreen wash and tell me how you would check it.
Windscreen wash. Here's the windscreen wash, and there's only one way to check it. It's good enough by filling it.
Exactly. Yeah, fill it up. Okay.
Yeah.
So do you want to close your engine bay over again?
Easy enough. Super.
So again, we've had a mechanic who's popped the bonnet the other week, and I tend to clean that, and he's mucked it up again for me. But again, he cleaned the truck.
There you go. I'll
so
give it a clean.
It's better now. Yeah. Good. Okay. So that's the engine bay for now. We're going to get back in and complete our inside checks.
Sounds
okay. Good. So if you get your sheet again.
Back in, we've done the oil.
So you've done the engine checks before starting the engine.
Yes.
We know the oil is fine.
Yes.
So we're now okay to complete this question, which is the after starting the engine. So now what you're going to do is start the engine. Now on this truck, because it's 17 years old, it has got a lot of new tech, but you don't need to press any brakes or pedals when you start the engine. If you did, something would tell you on the dashboard.
Okay.
So you can just now,
turn
you know the handbrake's on, you know the gears in neutral.
Gears in neutral, yeah.
Let's start the engine. The alarm's on.
Okay.
The triangle's on the top, audible, you've got the audible alarm and the visual alarm.
Okay.
So it's telling you low air pressure. That's your nasals, the gauges on the right hand side.
Yes.
Now if you apply some acceleration, you have got a rev counter on this truck. Build the revs up to about 1000 or 1500 revs, and you'll quickly build your pressure. And you can feel the seat already coming up, because it's an air operated seat as well. So give it some revs. You're not near houses, so we're not going to be upsetting the neighbours too much.
So a bit more than that?
Yeah, let's take it up to about 1500 revs. The more you accelerate, the more pressure comes in to the tanks. And you just need them in the green. Do you think they're in already, are they?
sorry, what are you saying in the green? In the air pressure on the right hand side? Yeah.
Yes.
So
yes.
we're all good. Onto it. So it's these here. Yeah, got it.
Yeah, okay. At this stage now, because we've built them up, let's turn the secondary brake off, so that should be able to push all the way in. Good. Perfect. And if the air pressure built up, that will go in.
Was that on where it was before then, just out? Because I expected it to be out more than that, to be fair, Paul.
Yeah, no, it only comes out a small amount.
Okay.
So if you pull it all the way out now, you can actually manually, while it's built up here, you can actually pull it out. It just comes out as far as that.
Ah, I get you. Okay. So am I okay pushing that back in again?
All the way back in again, yeah. And only because it's got enough air and you're able to pull it out and push it in.
Yeah. So again, when would you use this as opposed to the parking brake?
So that one that's just a safety. So when it runs out of air pressure,
yes,
it's only overnight. If it runs out of air pressure, the emergency brake comes on.
Yes.
So you wouldn't normally use it at any other time, unless.
That's called the emergency brake as opposed to the parking brake.
Yeah, it's like a secondary brake. Yeah.
I get you. Yeah, no problem.
Okay. So your air pressure's up.
Yeah.
Everything's working okay there. All the lights have gone off except we will clear that. Do you want to just clear that message by pressing the escape button, ESC, and it goes off.
Yeah.
That's the display panel you want on really.
Got it.
It tells you what gear you're in, etc.
Yes.
So if you're driving and messages come up, press the escape button and come back to that one because you'll know whether you're in gear or not. Okay. Now so we've done the instrument checks. Now the exhaust, which is on the right hand side of the truck. If you give it a couple of good revs, make sure there's no big clouds of smoke coming out of the exhaust. If you look in your bottom mirror, you'll see if there's any big clouds of smoke coming out.
How far back is it from the cab?
It's just behind you actually, it's only about 1-2 feet behind you.
Nothing, it's all clear.
Fine, yeah, good. And the air pressure, the air tanks are built up, yes.
Yes.
Good. Next stage is, you would ask, because it's in red, you'd ask the examiner, would you check the brake lights for me, please?
Okay.
Or you can ask your passenger.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you want to ask me, and I'll go and check the brake lights for you.
Paul, would you mind checking my brake lights for me, please?
Now, the examiner might hit you back with a question of what would you do if you were on your own, and then how would you answer that?
I'd try and gauge a reflection off
that's good
behind.
enough. As soon as you give a bit of an answer which is about right, they'll go, yeah, thank you.
Okay.
They'll cut you quite short. Okay.
So?
Okay. What we're going to do to check all the lights, we'll put the engine off, because checking the air for air leaks as well, we need the engine off. Okay, so if you switch your engine off, put the ignition back on.
Ignition back on.
I'm going to go and check your brake lights in a minute, so I'm going to walk all the way to the back.
Yes.
You'll see me in the mirror.
Yeah.
You're going to press the foot brake twice. If you keep pumping it, you'll pump all the air out of the brakes. Because air operated brakes. So if you want to empty your air tanks, you just pump all the air pressure out.
Okay.
And that brings all the air out, and then you build up like you did. And that's if you wanted to check for an air leak. You can empty your tanks. You can make sure your alarms work like we found they worked before, so we haven't got to do that test.
Yes.
But we'll cover that on your module 4, okay?
Yeah.
So when I get you to do it, just pump the brakes twice, and if they work, and I'll put my thumb up and you'll see me. Okay?
Sounds good.
And then I'll say to you, at that stage, once I'm walking towards you, get yourself out because I want you to do all the outside checks next.
Okay.
Okay.
Sounds good.
So what we may as well do is put the lights on. They're on the top right hand side.
Yeah.
Let's put your dipped headlights on.
Good.
Your fog light is on the same switch. Push it forwards for the front fog light.
Push it.
So push it in.
Forward.
You'll see light comes on your
Green
dash.
Come on, yeah.
Pull it all the way back for the back fog light, and the back one's on.
Okay.
Your hazard lights are just a bit further down.
Okay.
So if you put your hazard light on, good. So when you get out, you can check all your lights are working as well. Yes.
All good.
Okay. Happy with them?
Very good.
So leave them on. Leave the ignition in that position as well. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go out. I'm going to check. So you just watch me through there.
Yeah.
Pump your brakes twice. Okay.
Yeah.
When we do the checks, we're going to check the truck and we get hands on because you've got your gloves on.
Yeah.
So, what was on the list? There were lights on it.
Yes.
So, do you want to check your lights on going to fall out? So, when you check everything, it's physically touch.
Physically move them.
Make sure nothing between backside and forward.
What about those ones at the
those
top?
Ones, if you want to check those ones, you can do.
Yes.
We do have these are steps.
Yes.
So you pull them out.
Yeah.
Step. But don't just stand on it. Test it.
Yeah.
Test your handles are okay, secure.
Ah, handles as well. Yeah, got it. Yeah.
And if you want to really test those, you will be testing your mirrors in a moment.
Yes.
Testing your wipers.
Yes.
Make sure there's no splits.
Yes.
All good? They're all fine, yeah.
Because you're tall enough, you'll be able to...
I can get them from there, yeah, I see.
There is a second step if you want to get higher.
Ah, right, okay.
Okay, so...
Yeah. I'm a big heavy guy, though. I think I'd be a little bit wary. I think I'll be a little bit wary.
I'm going to let you do those, yeah. Okay, so
do they just pull out, do they?
Pull them out.
Yeah.
It is a lorry, it is designed to take the weight. So make sure you check them before you stand on them.
Yeah. So,
like 3 points of contact again.
Yeah.
Get up to the next one, check it. There you go.
Yeah.
Good. They are designed to take the weight off drivers.
They're all good.
Designed to get you up there, okay.
Yeah, no problems.
Check the windscreen while you're there. Everything is okay on the windscreen too.
Yeah, they're all fine also.
Good.
No problems.
Okay.
Yeah.
Top shot down. Close those up.
Close those up.
Yeah, give them a good close. Get them over shove.
I just didn't want to break it, mate.
Yeah.
All good.
No, that's a lorry, it's not a car. They have to be
suppose so. You got to, yeah.
Okay. Now, if you check this wiper like you did,
yeah,
on your mod 4, you might get a marker.
So you actually need to check it. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All good. Yeah.
Good. Okay. Whichever way you want to go around the truck next, you can do. I tend to go that way.
Okay.
So let's. So now take on the front.
Yeah.
You've got a mirror there. Just make sure it's secure. That's all you're checking for.
Yes.
You've got a white. You've got a indicator just to make sure.
That's secure. All fine. Yeah.
Trying to pull them off.
Yeah.
Your wheels. Checking your tyres and your wheels and your wheel nuts.
Cool. Is there any, I know you're obviously looking for the wheel nuts not to have come loose, or the indicators to have shown it's not come loose. Is there anything extra than you would check on a car for cuts or bulges or anything like that? Is there any extra bits that you'd find in a lorry or need to?
Well, you're basically doing all the same items.
Yep.
Except the tread is less, isn't it?
Yep.
So what is the tread?
1 millimetre.
1 millimetre across the...
This is it the middle 3/4 still?
Yes. Same car.
Yes.
And consistent all the way around.
All the way around. Yeah.
Quick check of your suspension as well. Make sure everything's okay.
I actually wouldn't know what I'm looking for. Everything looks intact.
Okay.
And
you're looking for no oily bits coming down, etc.
No, it's all good. Yeah.
Check your mud guards are okay, secure.
Yeah.
Use your foot on the spray suppression. Make sure it's not going to fall off.
No, we're all good.
If you start touching things too much, you will get your gloves.
All,
you like to keep your gloves clean. Okay, you've got. First of all, make sure it's secure.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're good.
And there's no brakes in it. So these are your reflectors as well as lights.
Yes.
The examiner could say, show me how you check your reflectors. Well, how would you check them? You basically just check that they're secure and there's no brakes in it.
Okay, fair enough.
Your exhaust pipe is there.
Yes.
Use your foot, don't use your hand, because if it's hot, you'll burn yourself. Okay.
Yeah, okay.
As you come down the truck, and now not on the list, but just check the fuel cap is secure, check the fuel tank is secure.
Yes.
And the lorry was cleaned not so long ago, even though they do get a bit grubby.
Yep.
Because it always looks like a brand new fuel tank.
Yeah.
A nice one. So check that's okay.
Yeah.
Now when we're checking the twin tyres,
yes,
what we don't want to be doing is putting the hand through there.
Okay.
And if you're looking through there, there's not a lot of space through there.
Okay.
If you've got a torch with you, it's a good idea to have a torch.
Yeah.
I do have one in the truck if I need to see.
No problem.
But I say to people, it's safe enough, because if the bodywork fell down, which you can't,
yes,
because it's on the actual
beam of the lorry. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So you can probably head through. Check that the twin tyres are not touching.
Twin tyres are not touching.
Yeah. So if you put your head through there.
Yeah, we are good.
So, and they look like they're inflated as well.
Yeah, they do.
Okay. And you come check this.
Yeah.
Check that wheel the same as the front one.
Yeah.
Wheel nuts markers pointing at each other.
Yeah, we're all good.
Okay. If you didn't have wheel nut markers, you just make sure there's the same amount of thread shown on each wheel nut.
How much would one of the wheel nut markers have to be out of kilter for you to go, whoa, there's a problem there?
As soon as you see a slight one out, get it checked.
Get it checked. Okay.
If there's any doubt, it needs to be checked. Okay. If anything happened with the vehicle and the wheel falls off and kills someone,
it's down to you, isn't it?
You are the driver. Okay.
Get it.
And you're looking for a bit of rust coming down, etc. Okay.
Okay.
Your marker lights at the top, we're not climbing up and checking those, but you can see they're on and they're working.
Yes.
Your tail lift is up.
Yes.
Which is good. Check your lights are secure.
Yeah, they're all good.
Good. Check this one.
This one at the side's a little bit wobbly.
Yes, it was. We noticed that the other day. It's not going to fall off those.
It's not going to fall off, no.
Okay. So that needs an extra little job. So as long as if it looks like it's going to fall off,
yeah,
just trying to give out for now.
Yeah,
check this one as well.
It did look as though it was held on securely with the top bolt, so not a problem.
Okay, so the number plate light should be on underneath.
Let's have a look. Yes, it is. Yeah,
good. You can also see if your twin tyres are not touching
from the back here.
Scoot down, have a look, but because of the mud guards, it's hard to see.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
We do have a control which raises that up as a different day.
Okay.
Now your tail lift.
Yeah.
The examiners could say to you the question, how would you operate your tail lift? The first thing you need to tell them is health and safety. You've got enough space and it's safe to operate, so that's the first thing you tell them.
Okay.
And then you tell them, I'll follow the instructions because they're all slightly different on each vehicle.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll ask you the question. Tell me how you'd operate your tail lift.
Health and safety, make sure there's enough space.
Yeah.
Then I'll follow the instructions that are written on the vehicle.
Fabulous. Check these bits, yeah?
Check those bits.
Now, let me ask you, sorry, so you do your mirrors here as well. Check your mirrors are secure.
Yeah.
If you can reach the top mirror, you can't stand on this, otherwise we'll get you to stand on there, hold on to it with two hands and check it, because again, if it falls off and injures someone, you are responsible. Okay.
I will have a little check. Yeah, we're okay.
What you don't trip on the current behind
That's all right, I'm okay with that.
And I leave them out on purpose because on tests when you're doing your manoeuvre, they tend to leave the cones there, so it's like, please don't trip and fall and
but people trip on them.
You can do, yes. Okay, now when you say how would you check your suspension?
Yeah.
You said you wouldn't really know what you're looking for.
No, I wouldn't.
You've got them two bars, can you see them?
Yes. Yes.
And they run behind the part of the suspension. You see them on this side.
Yes.
And if you look at them, they should be like a bowed, like a smiling.
What are they called? Leaf suspension?
Spring leaf.
Spring leaf, that's the one, yeah.
They should be smiling and not frowning.
I get you, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, that way.
Overloaded, they go the other way.
Ah, with you, okay, yeah, so they're okay.
Yeah.
No problems.
On the back of the truck, it's air suspension, so they're just straight bars and it's airbags at the back, okay. As part of your checks, if you suspect your vehicle is lopsided, etc., it's not even, you might investigate your suspension on your truck a bit more.
Okay.
For this, we don't need to.
Fine, okay, no problems.
So the logo's on that?
Yep.
Happy with that?
Yep. Excellent.
Okay. Good. So, next stage.
Yep.
You can switch all your lights off that you
switch all my lights
don't
off,
need.
So hazards. We said that goes obviously that to there. So that switch for the lights actually turns the fogs off as soon as you move it, doesn't it?
Yeah, as soon as you move it. As soon as you come off your dip lights, it will come off.
It will come off. Yes. That's what I was going to ask, so that's fine. Are we correct to still have dipped headlights on?
Well, with lights on, it depends on personal choice.
Okay.
What I always say to people, if it's dull outside or if it has rained, I always put lights on.
Yeah.
I don't mess with the dim lights because the first click is called your dim lights, isn't it?
Yeah.
Dim is, think of the word dim.
Parking lights.
It's not going to help us get seen.
Parking lights for me. I use them if you're ever parking in a place that required them.
And this truck has got parking lights, which is the third click.
Third click. Okay. So dipped headlights. Okay. So I'll leave them.
Dipped. I always go with dipped lights.
Yeah.
I'll either go no lights if it's a bit dull, which I think it is.
Yeah.
Has definitely rained overnight.
Yeah.
I'll always go with dip lights when I'm driving.
Dip lights. Are they okay to be left on at the moment?
Yes.
No problems.
Yeah.
Okay. Got that.
So what we're going to do is we're going to get everything ready and started when you're ready.
Sound.
So next stage is, because we've built up the air pressure, you can do your cockpit drill now.
Okay, sound.
So if you want to do your doors, well, you know your cockpit drill, door seats,
doors,
seat belts,
seat.
mirrors.
You know what?
Now your seat is, if it needs adjust, now we'll come round and show you how to do it.
I actually feel pretty comfy, to be honest with where I'm at. I can pivot between the pedals, I'm all good.
Good.
Honestly, I'm okay with where we are.
Okay, so your door's okay, your doors are both closed.
Yep.
Seat is adjusted.
Yep.
Okay, I'm just going to come round and show you the seat just in case, because if someone drives the truck tomorrow, which they are, I think.
Yes.
You're back in with me
Wednesday,
yeah. So someone might have moved the seat tomorrow, so I will come round and briefly show you that. Okay?
That's fine, no
Door
problem.
Seat, I'll show you how to move the steering wheel in a moment.
Okay, cool.
At this point, Paul showed me how the seat moved in all different directions. We also adjusted the steering wheel, and once we'd finished this, we set the mirrors up. There then wasn't much to do before we actually started driving, and this is what I'm going to cover next episode. Thanks a lot for watching, everyone. Keep safe, and I'll see you next time.